Hey guys, Inder this side from 24/7 Everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video, and this time it's on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 related to a new custom ROM, that is Project Secura. So let's begin with that. So basically this particular custom ROM is based on the Lineage OS. So I'll show you that particular part as well. But before that, this is an Android 10 based custom ROM, then the security patch level of 5 August 2020. Most probably I think in coming 7 to 8 days, the developer surely be releasing a new version as well, like with the security patch level of 5 September 2020 and so on. A part of this is a build number, this is a kernel, that is 4.4.233 Equinox version 1.4 and so on. And apart to this, the build date is of 28th of August 2020. And as I have told, telling you that this is a Lineage OS base, so you can see now, like this is a Lineage OS logo, and I'll also show you afterward as well. Like they have specifically mentioned that this is a Lineage OS fork and so on. So now let's move to the system section, and it is again a comprehensive section with respect to this particular ROM. So firstly we'll go to the button section, and in button firstly you will see invert layout, like this will be inverted. Recent will be shuffled with the back button and back with the recent. Let me do it again and it will be shuffle again. And a part of this, you can view any like many other options like home language, or I would say home long press, home double tap action, recent long press, and so on. So by default, it is search assistant. You can change it whatsoever you want according to your likings, and so on. And afterward, the next section is power button, or I would say power menu. So firstly, you just have to tap it here, and whatsoever you will be selecting here, whenever you will be tapping on your power button, it will be listed out here. So let's say if I'll be turning a lockdown option, then it will be removed from here. If I'll turn it on again, then that will be available. So after button, the next section is status bar. So the very first thing which majority of the users want to see is network traffic monitor. So you can turn it on and so on, like what do you want to show, upload mode, download, or both, and so on. Apart to this system icons, so this is also a very nice feature, like it will list out all the icons on your status bar. Let's say if I'll be turning off Wi-Fi now, it will be hidden from here. If I'll again turn it on, then it will be again shown here, and so on. Whatsoever you icons you want to play with, you can play with that. So after network and traffic, the next and status bar icons, the next section is related to clock. So do you want to set the clock position left, right? So if I'll do right, then it will move to here. If I'll do left, I think that is the best thing to put, or either it would be on center if developer has provided a part of this. You can show seconds. If I'll turn it off, it will be removed. Again, AM, PM style, and so on. And a part of this, the major thing related to battery indicator. So by default, I'm using icon portrait. You can change something else and it will show you, do you want to show percentage or not, and so on. So after status bar, now the next section is related to the gestures. So you just have to tap it here, and afterward, the very first thing is related to the screen gesture. So whatsoever you want to use, you can just configure it, and afterward you can use it. The best thing that I like here is related to this particular system navigation. So for the videos part, I always use 3 button, but it's your wish to use 2 button, gesture navigation, and so on. So you can select the same from here. Usually in this particular section, you also view the photo updater, but that's also available in some other section, and it is working absolutely fine, and I'll be showing you in the coming sections as well. So after system, now let's move to the directly to the security part. So the great thing is that fingerprint, face unlock, then pin, pattern swipe, all are working absolutely fine. There is no problem, no glitch at all. In case of fingerprint scanner, you can feel a very minor latency, and again it will be 1 out of 10 time, not each and every time. So this is negligible. And now after security, now let's move to the storage section. So it's good that it is working fine for the SD card as well. Like in my previous 2 to 3 months review, I have seen like majority of the ROMs where they were having issue with the SD card. Either it was showing corrupted, and whenever we'll try to format it, it will either freeze or restart our phone and so on. After storage section, now let's move to the sound section. So again, according to the basic version or a firmware version needed for this particular ROM is 061. So according to that, this particular ROM is working absolutely fine. Like there is no good, no bad. So whatsoever we are getting in stock ROM 061, the same audio quality or voice quality is available in this particular ROM as well. So after sound section, now let's move to the display section for a minor customization part. So very first thing would be styles and wallpaper. So the very first thing is style, then clock and wallpaper. So wallpaper like in-device or on-device wallpapers are very less. But from a clock's perspective, I'm using like semi-colored. Let me turn it off. Sorry. Now you can view this semi-color like white color and along with that orange color and so on. Apart to this style, so this is a by default style or a accent color whatsoever been figured here. To cut down the time, I'm using my custom. So let me do select this and apply it. Now everything will be changed according to that particular font, even those particular system icons and so on. So again, it's your wish whatsoever you want to choose, but let me default it so that it will be much easier to navigate. So after style and wallpaper, that is minor customization part. Now let's move to the lock screen display. Again, in this particular thing, again the same option, show lockdown option. If you turn it off, then it will be removed from your lockdown option. Sorry, lock power menu. And again, if you turn it on, then it will be available. The best part is related to AOD. Let me turn it on, and now let me lock my phone. So AOD is working absolutely fine. Apart to this, ambient display with respect to notification or new notification is also working fine. So there is no problem with that. Although developer has also provided AOD and ambient displays separate settings that we will be covering in the quick settings section. So now let's jump to the most vital part, that is related to battery consumption. So the best thing of this particular ROM is that it is charging phone under 3 hours. So it took nearly about 2 hours and 58 minutes to fully charge my phone from 0 to 100%. And again, I'm using 10-watt compatible charger rather than the one which was shipped with this particular phone. Apart to this, now let's talk about from the ideal battery percentage. So sometime it was showing me 5 to 6% and sometimes 6 to 7% as, and I always gather the or analyze on the basis of the higher thing that I have faced. So at my side, it has drained nearly about 6 to 7% over a span of 7 to 8 hours. So I think this needs to be optimized in this particular ROM. But again, this ROM is really very smooth and working absolutely fine. Now let's talk from the battery consumption's point of view from two major apps. The good thing is that when I was reviewing this particular ROM, I was able to install PUBG Mobile, and I think on the very next day or after day after tomorrow, the day or I would say second day after installing this, the PUBG Mobile was banned. But I'll be discussing those as well because as per our news, most probably it will be unbanned in the coming days, and most probably users will be using it again. So let me open PUBG Mobile and we'll see that, and afterward we'll move to the Call of Duty part as well. So as I've told you earlier that this particular game is already banned, but I was able to successfully install before the ban. So I'm going to discuss the battery consumption again so that in future whenever it will be unbanned, we will be able to like you will be able to know that okay, this was that and that. Okay, so basically 14 to 15% of battery was consumed over a gameplay of 1 hour. And apart to this, I have noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was 30 degree, and as soon as I completed the 1 hour of gameplay, the phone of my like temperature of my phone was 37 degree. And apart to this, I was using these graphic settings and frame rates and so on. And apart of this, gameplay was so smooth, there was no lag, no problem with that. Now let's move to the Call of Duties part. So for a Call of Duties part, I was using this as in graphic quality, and these are the frame rate qualities or settings. And a part of this, again, this particular game has also taken or took nearly about, or I would say consumed nearly about 14 to 15% of battery, again for a gameplay of 1 hour. And apart of this, I was using these game settings, and I have also noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was 35 degree, and as soon as I completed, it was nearly about 41 degrees. So again, I have seen this like whenever I'm playing Call of Duty, it usually heats or the temperature of phone is usually increased as compared to the PUBG Mobile. So I think firstly it needs to be optimized from the game developer's point of view, and afterward I'm not sure whether custom ROM developer can do something to that as well. But again, I think the first priority from the game developer side. So after battery, now let's move to the connected devices or connected devices. So in connected devices, I usually test two things. One is Bluetooth and another is screencasting. So Bluetooth device is working absolutely fine, be it for file transfer or either for audio via Bluetooth devices and so on. And apart to this screencasting, it is also working absolutely fine. But I was facing an issue on my AMD based laptop, but on Intel it was able to like connect on a very first instance, but on AMD it is not. And most probably I'll be finding a solution for the AMD based laptops as well. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll test this other ROMs as well or stock ROM whether those are also having issues on the AMD based laptops or not. If I'll find any resolution, then I'll surely be creating a video on that as well. So after connected devices, now let's move to the network and internet part. So again, the very first thing is that Wi-Fi calling. Yes, it is working absolutely fine both for Jio and Airtel. At my side, apart to this, there is no functionality or availability of a call recorder, neither for the native video call. Although native video call setting is available in the, I would say, setting section. Let me show you. Like they do show something like operator video calling, but it is not available on dialer side. And apart to this, Wi-Fi, calls, SMS and mobile internet all are working absolutely fine. There is no problem, no glitch with that. So overall network and internet is working absolutely fine. So after network and internet, now let's move to the advanced settings or advanced customization. That is, for that we have to move to Secura configs. So they have their dedicated section. The very first thing that I was pointing you in the very starting was that this is a Lineage OS base. So Project Secura is a custom Lineage OS. It is a sole purpose to provide a platform which is powered by Lineage OS or Lineage, and it is more customizable than Lineage OS. So after about section, now let's move to the interface. So in interface, the best thing is related to this particular Secura themes. So by default, I'm using white theme or a non dark theme. So let me select Google Gray. So now you will see these particular dark themes are also in a different ways like Solrise dark. Now if I'll do pitch black, then you will see all these. So you can play with these, but for the videos part, I'm using light. So after interface, the other thing is related to quick settings. So although there is nothing major here, just the same things like how you can change the column layout, row layout. So you can plus minus here or increase or decrease it here and it will show you the accordingly. After quick settings, the another thing is related to lock screen. So again here, do you want to show status bar, power menu, secure power menu and so on in lock screen or not? If you want, if you will turn it off, then it will not be available. So you can play with these particular settings. So after lock screen, now let's move to the gestures part. So in gesture section, they have just provided that 3-finger for screenshot. So it is working absolutely fine. If you turn it off, then it will be removed. So after gestures, the next part is related to notification. So the very first thing is related to edge lighting. Yes, it is again working absolutely fine whenever a new notification is working, but you have to turn it on the ambient display. That is this particular section. And a part of this, you can change this particular edge lighting color according to your, I would say, likings and so on. So after notification, the next section is related to miscellaneous. So in miscellaneous, again, one thing that I always look for is gaming mode. So it is working absolutely fine. So whenever you will be turning out gaming mode, you will see a better, I would say, gameplay with respect to the, like again, it will be 2 to 3% added advantage. I won't say that this will be 10 to 20%, but you will surely feel a difference. Now the last part is related to the Secura updater, that is a OTA updater. So this is the one that I was telling you that usually it is available in system section, but from the developer side it is provided in this particular and it is working absolutely fine because before this I was using their like older build and afterward I updated is using Secura updater and it worked absolutely fine. But before that particular build it was failing, but in the on this but like with this particular build it is working fine. So whenever a new update will come, so like nearly about 95% chances that it will be updating it successfully. But again those 5% sometime it is not working for few users, like it will either stuck in TWRP mode and so on. So in that particular case you can do dirty flash and so on if you are using the same ROM. So after advanced customization part, now let's move to the quick settings. So again, all the minor, major, simple, advanced, all the quick settings are available in this particular section. I always listed down the all the important whatsoever I use, but there are other bunch of you can play with those. But the ones that I have selected are all like absolutely working fine, like dark theme toggle and so on. So it is working absolutely fine. Apart to this, AOD, ambient display, then gaming mode, screen recorder, yes, it is also working fine. There is just a minor glitch in screen recorder. Sometime whenever you are recording internal audio and with respect to your surroundings, your internal audio sometime like being recorded as a muted just for a fraction of second. So you will surely be able to see a difference in that as well. So after quick settings, now let's move to the next section that is related to default apps shipped with this particular ROM. So all these are the apps which are shipped with this, like you will see music player and a part of this FM radio and so on. So everything is working absolutely fine. Developer has also provided audio effects and so on, just you can amplify the sound and so on. And after this, now let's verify the firmware version needed. Although I've already told you that this is working, you will be needing at least 061. So this is the one which is installed on my phone at this moment. So any version 061 or more is compatible with this particular custom ROM. After this, now let's move to the Play Protection certification. For that, let me open Play Store. So play protection certification device is certified. So I haven't done it manually. It is by default available whenever I have flashed this particular ROM. So again, there is no problem with the play protection certification. Now there is one more advantage of this particular ROM is that apart to Lineage OS, they have also like included the launcher from the OnePlus launcher side. So let me show you that. So basically this is a OnePlus launcher. So in this you will see plenty of options. We can discuss few things. Like the very first thing is like leftmost screen. So I have turned it on and by default I'm using shelf from the OnePlus side. So let me show you that. So these are from the OnePlus launcher side, but you can shuffle it if you are a fan of a Google News or like Google section. So just go to this particular section again and select the Google option. After this, the another thing is like double tap to lock. So I usually like this, so that's why I've turned it on, and this is also available in this particular home settings. So double tap to lock. Again, you can hide icon labels and a part of this launcher layout. So by default, do you want home screen only or home screen and drawer? So by default, it is home screen and this is a full-fledged drawer, but you can again change it by going here. Like you will see home screen only, and now if you will go, you will see only those strange it has not shown. Let me try to, sorry, it was my bad, I haven't selected here. So now it is applying it, and now like it is only home screen, so no drawer and so on. So it's again on your side, like how you want to use, do you want to use home screen or launcher and so, but I use home screen and app drawer as a separate one, so it is working absolutely fine. And the second last thing in this particular section is related to hidden space. So you can hide any app here and afterward you just have to do this or that and it will be able to show you that as well. And last part, let me confirm you once again that this is a OnePlus launcher and so on, powered by Skull Shady and so. Now let's focus on the status of Camera 2 API, Wideband certification and so on. So let me first open Camera 2 API. So it is available out of the box, or I would say by default whenever you will be installing this ROM with the level 3 support. Apart to this, DRM info, or I would say Wideband certification, at my side it is showing me L3, but like whenever you will be flashing this, it will be if it is L1 at your side, then it will be L1 at it will be showing you L1 at your end as well. So that's not a problem. Apart to this, this is a I would say stock camera and this is a Gcam camera. So I'll be sharing the Gcam link whenever we'll be discussing installation part, which is after 2 or 3 sections from now. So all are working absolutely fine. Now let's move to the benchmark scores. So firstly, let's open Antutu, or I would say Antutu benchmarks. So these are the Antutu benchmarks. So these like 1,43,624 and below ones are the consolidated on the basis of CPU, GPU, memory management, UX or UI and so on. Apart of this, let's focus on the Geekbench 5 benchmarks course as well. So let me go into history section. So on the basis of CPU, that is single core and multi-core score. So single core score is 281, multi-core score is 1263. And apart to this, on the basis of computation using OpenCL API, the score is 444. And again, the bad thing is that this particular benchmark scores are not running using Vulkan API. As and when it will be available, I'll be surely discussing those as well. And apart to this, the other section is related to RAM and memory management. And trust me, RAM and memory management, or I would say RAM management, is working absolutely fine. There is no problem with that. And apart to this, now let's focus on the overall review score. So as I've told you that with respect to all goods and bad, my overall review score is 85 out of 100. So if that particular battery drainage was not an issue, then I might have given it 90 out of 100. So but again, if you will be do you want to use this particular ROM, then for sure you can try it and you will surely be happy to use this. Now let's focus on the installation part. So for that, firstly we have to open Chrome to discuss few things, and afterward we'll jump into the recovery mode. So again, if you are familiar with my videos, so I usually create a dedicated article on my official blog. The URL will be for the same will be provided to you in the description section below, so that you can go over afterward. So nothing major has been provided. Few links like how to download the ROM. So there is no need to flash GF. GFs is already included in this. If you want to root, then Magix 20.4. The Google camera link that I have told you that we will be discussing in the installation part. And apart to this, there are few prerequisites. So firstly, backup your data, then charge your phone's battery at least 50% or more, but I recommend 80%, and you can even see 89 at my side. Again, firmware version needed is 061, and I'm using the same. But if you want to view more videos on the different firmware, that like how to download and so I've already provided you the YouTube channel URL. You can just click here and search it. You will surely be able to find it easily. Then bootloader should be unlocked. TWRP custom recovery should be installed. If you are again not familiar, then I have already provided you the helping videos as well. Apart to this, finally the installation part using TWRP recovery mode. Firstly, format data. Then you have to wipe 4 different partition. One is cache, Dalvik, data, and system. Last but not least is install or flash the ROM, that is Project Secura 2.Q ROM. Afterward, successful installation, you just have to reboot phone and complete the phone setup process. In any case, if you are waiting more than 10 to 15 minutes and your phone setup process is not initializing, then I would recommend to reboot your phone, and that will surely be fastening up your processes and so on, and resolve your underlying issue. And last but not least, finally enjoy the beauty of Android 10 with the Project Secura 2.Q ROM on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1. And below ones are our social handles. You can either subscribe us or you can follow us, and we'll try our level best to reply to you. So it's finally the time to go into the installation part. Let me try to reboot. Afterward, advanced, then into recovery. Now our phone will be directly booted to the TWRP recovery mode, and afterward we'll be jumping into the installation steps. So finally we have been booted to the TWRP recovery mode, and this is the home page, or I would say home UI page. So firstly, according to blog, you have to tap on wipe. Afterward you have to select on format data. Again, just take a backup of all of your internal I would say storage and so on, because everything will be deleted here. Just tap yes here and press on blue tick to confirm it, and it will hardly take 5 to 10 seconds and formatting will be done. So after that you have to again move back until unless you again moves to this particular Wi factory reset section. This time you have to tap on advanced wipe, and you have to select 4 different partitions that we have discussed on blog: Dalvik, cache, data, and system. Afterward, just swipe to wipe it, and again it will take 2 to 3 seconds and formatting will be done or wiping will be done. Afterward, you have to again move to the home screen of the TWRP mode. Now you have to tap on install button. Afterward, you have to select storage. So by default at my side, I've already selected micro SD card. But if you are not using micro SD card, then you can use OTG pen drive. But I always prefer micro SD card, so I have selected that. Now let's move to the folder where I have kept that particular ROM. So this is that particular ROM, the latest one. So I'll be just tapping here and afterwards swipe to confirm flash. Now it will take nearly about 10 to 15 minutes at most, but usually it might complete within 10 minutes. So just have patience and do not play with your volume rocker buttons or either with your power button. So afterward, we'll move to the phone setup process. So finally, the installation process has been completed. Now we are having two options. One is Vibe Cache Dalvik and another is Reboot System. So I'll always prefer Vibe Cache Dalvik so that all the junk files that have been created behind this particular installation process will be completed. Now you are good to go with the Reboot System. Now our phone has been booted and now it will move to the login, I would say logo or animation screen for the project Secura. So let's wait and afterward it will invoke or instantiate, or I would say start the phone setup process. So this is a logo screen, or you would say animation screen, or I would say progress bar, whatsoever you say it. Now you just have to wait nearly about 2 to 3 minutes, and afterward your phone setup process will start. But again, if it is stuck for more than 15 minutes, then I will recommend you to restart your phone or reboot your phone. This problem will be surely resolved. Although there is no such problem, but in just for a precautionary note. So finally the phone setup process has been started. So according to my country, it is selected English India. Now let me tap on start. Let me just select my own likings. And now it will ask me to enter the Wi-Fi credential. Let me enter it and we'll proceed further. So after successfully entering the Wi-Fi credential, now it is checking for the update. Again, these are related to Google Play stores, or I would say Google Play services. If there will be any minor or major pending upload or payload will be there, then it will be downloaded or installed in this section and move to the next section. So here it is asking, do you want to copy apps and data from Google Cloud? If you want, you can tap on next, but for the videos part, I'm just skipping it by tapping on don't copy. So again, checking info, verifying the PIN. This should be the vital part whenever you'll be flashing. Otherwise, it will be asking you for the Google account if you're not like you have forgotten your PIN or so on. So for now, I'm just skipping the Google account setup process so that we can speedify this process. So again, the same things, nothing major. Again, I'll be just doing the PIN part. I won't be doing fingerprint scanner just to cut down the time. So we are almost on the verge of completing. Again, lineage OS feature, do you want to improve? So just for the videos part, I'm canceling if you want. So it is showing us lineage OS. Basically this particular ROM is on the basis of lineage OS. So start it. So by default this is a wallpaper and you will see this audio like Pikachu and so on. And apart to this, all these are the, I would say, bare bone structure or default app shipped with this particular ROM. So let me confirm you again. Android 10, same 5 August, then this is a build number, kernel version, and apart to this, same that contributor that I have shown and so on. So all in all, this was all from my side related to this particular custom ROM, that is Project Secura, which is based on Lineage OS. Hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this video with friends and family, and apart from this, please subscribe to our channel because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now. Thanks.